This video will be covering sensitive topics relating to a recently exposed Undertale and Deltarune streamer, as well as other serious and heavy themes. Yesterday, Shayy was exposed for committing many heinous acts, including sexual assaults, harassment, and abuse. Before the past few months, my interest in Undertale and Deltarune was unfortunately fueled largely by their content. I would watch their videos whenever I was done with assignments. I would tune into their streams whenever I had some downtime after hanging out with my friends. They were a very big part of my interest in Undertale and Deltarune. As much as I'd like to fully accept everything that's come out and just stop caring about them, it's really hard for me to stop caring about the content they've created over the years because, I still have really fond memories of watching their videos, which unfortunately will probably forever hold a stained reputation due to the things Shayy has done. And as much as I hate to admit it, I let myself go ahead and just watch one of the videos one more time last night. I hit the comment section and let myself pretend for like half an hour that nothing was wrong, that they'd never done any of the things they'd been exposed for. I don't like doing things with any sort of denial, but I wanted 30 more minutes to pretend like everything would simply be back to normal soon. I hate that I'm still so fond of so many of their videos, but I was a huge fan of their content. They were admittedly one of my favorite creators on YouTube, and it's going to take me a long while to fully process and accept everything for what it is. I don't think I've really said or stated this very openly before now, maybe a little bit to some of my closer friends nowadays on Discord, but I was not a good person even just a few years ago. If I ever met my 2022 self today and found out about the kind of person he was online, I would personally started making a document to expose him myself. The lightest way I can describe how I was 3 years ago was that I was a disgusting, degenerate person online. I did and said things that hurt and made my online friends at the time extremely uncomfortable. And many of them rightfully got together and called me out on the horrendous behavior and actions I was showing back then. For a couple of months after, I remember telling myself that they were ignoring the reasons they were too at fault for how the interactions that I had with them went down. But after doing whatever I could to convince myself that I wasn't the only one at fault, I managed to see how that didn't matter, even if any of that was true in the first place, even if there was any fault that could possibly be argued that they had. All that mattered was that my actions and my behavior led to horrible feelings and interactions that my online friends never should have had to experience. I've spent the past 3 years working on myself, and I'm incredibly grateful to say that I have grown a lot since 2022. It's incredibly easy for me to see now how disgusting I was back then, and I'm grateful that I was given any chance whatsoever to change, and that I'm even able to be online talking to you guys right now. And I'm luckily still friends with one of those people that I was friends with back then who had to experience the way I was back in those days. And I can't thank them enough for giving me a chance to be a better person. Part of me hopes that the same will happen for Shayy. Maybe it'll take days, weeks, months, years, but I sincerely hope that they're able to honestly realize their faults and work on themselves to be a better person. I know they'll likely never be accepted in the Undertale or Deltarune communities ever again, and for good reason, but I wholeheartedly hope that after they've grown and become a better person, they'll do so much better with whatever they choose to do next, and that they'll have one more chance to truly be a better person if they just try. That's not to say I've forgiven them for everything that they've done, but they also don't deserve to be bullied or harassed for their actions. Nobody does, no matter the context. Be better than them. Fight the negative impacts they've had with love and kindness. Regardless of how cheesy it might sound, you'd be surprised by how much of a positive impact it can have. I won't try to convince you to forgive or forget what they've done. I won't ask you to wish them luck while seeking help. All I ask is for you to be the bigger person at this point in time. This last section is fully directed to Shayy. Maybe they'll never see this video or even hear of it, but I have things I'd like to say to them anyways. If this is where you leave the video, I hope you're able to find ways to finish off today with something positive. Thank you for listening. To Shayy. I discovered your channel a couple of years ago, probably whenever I was starting to wean off of my Undertale and Deltarune hype. I had just finished playing through all of the routes probably twice or thrice in Undertale. I'd already had my fill of Deltarune for that point in time, and my motivation to keep playing the games was admittedly dying off. Then I got recommended one of your videos where you were doing, I don't even remember what video it was, you were doing some random bull that I found really funny with my internet humor that I had back in the day. And I instantly really fell in love with the channel, as much as I hate to say it now. And you became a huge inspiration for me. I didn't know what kind of things you were doing behind the scenes. If I had known, I probably never would have watched another one of your videos. I don't even know if I would still be into Undertale or Deltarune as much as I am today. But the fact of the matter is, I am. And part of the reason for that is because of your channel. As hard as it is to admit and accept everything that you've done, I do have to realize that somebody that I used to genuinely look up to has been exposed for doing horrendous things to people who never should have had to put up with them, including people who were underage. And I want to say that I do sincerely hope that you are able to seek and find whatever help you need to be a better person, because I know that you are capable of being a better person if you try. You will likely never be accepted back in this community again, but I am more than willing to hope that you will have a better experience with whatever you go into down the line once you've accepted that you really, really fucked up and that you need help. Part of why I liked your channel so much was because of your admittedly awkward energy at times, and if anybody who knows me in real life watches this video, they'd be able to vouch for me in saying that I can sometimes be pretty awkward in real life as well. But one of my biggest encouragements to continue being myself was you, because I saw your awkward energy and the way that you used it to be what I saw as a great creator, and I became confident more in myself than I probably ever was before. And as much as I hate to admit it or pull this kind of card, I genuinely had to kind of do a double take yesterday whenever you were exposed for all of this. Because all of a sudden, one of the biggest thoughts in my mind was, well, I'm still having decent interactions with people, right? I have never gone to this extreme, I hope. And I realize now that I'm not you. Even if you were an inspiration for me, I am a totally different person. I don't say this to brag or try to sound like a better person inherently. I say this because it is my biggest reminder that just because I enjoy somebody's content and just because I might have a similar personality to them, a similar awkwardness, I am not the same person as them. And that has been my new biggest encouragement out of all of this. I might hate myself for saying this later on down the road, Shayy, but for the fond memories that I will probably still unfortunately hold on to from your channel, I do sincerely appreciate them. I appreciate that through all of this, I'm still able to hold on to some of those happier memories that I made watching your content and being in this community. And I hope that whatever you go on to do next, once again, after you've sought help, you're able to use any sort of opportunity that you're graciously given to be a better person. Because I do truly believe that anyone can be a better person if they just try. Thank you for watching.